Bring in our panel, David Carlucci and Amanda Mackey on this. David, I'll start with you. These are pretty good numbers for the Trump administration, as we said, near double what analysts had expected.
Yeah, well, look, analysts were expecting not great numbers because of some of the policies that Trump has put forward, like the erratic tariff policy and trade wars that have now begun because of that. But look, the real problem here is that unemployment rate has ticked up. It's actually the highest it's been since the beginning of the Biden administration. So if we compare the two, this is not a good track for the president. The other problem is that these numbers are very late. Why is that? It's not just because of the government shutdown, which is another problem, but it's because the president had fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the department that's tasked with putting out these job numbers. The president didn't like some of these numbers, so he fired the director. That put a whole tizzy into effect, and that affects the confidence that investors around the world and even in the United States have in the United States. So I think the president's going to try to spin these and talk about the 119,000 jobs. But the problem is with the unemployment rate rising. And the other part is these 119,000. This is only about a couple segments of the economy. So it was really high in specific factors. The other thing is the president's been talking about manufacturing. The unemployment rate has actually ticked up on manufacturing. So this is not great. It's not cataclysmic, but it doesn't look good for the president, especially heading in to the midterms in 2026.
And Amanda, what's your take? Because the figures are quite a mixed picture, aren't they? With, the unemployment numbers going up and different segments showing growth or a fall in jobs.
Well, if you look at the construction segment, you're looking at 19,000 new jobs. And I think that's largely attributable to the fact that we have secured our border. The reversal, the 180 that President Trump has done from what President Biden did, where we had a wide open border. And so you had people that were coming here, cheap labor, maybe even free labor, where people were in bad situations because we had an open border and these people were desperate. Now you see that actually Americans are being hired for those jobs. What a concept. So that's a great thing that President Trump has been able to do with securing our border. And it has increased construction jobs, construction employment for American workers. I think that's
Amanda, can I just jump in there and ask you, because one of the big points that has been made in the recent election day was that despite good job numbers, people are not feeling good about the economy when it comes to prices.
And I agree with that. Look, gas has come down. I have not seen gas prices this cheap in a very long time, at least a few years. The Biden administration destroyed that, where we were paying over $5 in 2022. Now we're at under $3. However, the price of foods, meat, coffee, those types of things are expensive. People are feeling the pain, and also the intensity of that, because you're going to the grocery store once a week, twice a month, and you feel that more than you would with other things. And so certainly that's something that the president is doing something on, and that's why he said he is going to be relaxing the tariffs on things like meat and coffee and other basket of goods.
We've got to leave it there, Amanda, just because we're running out of time up against a break. But we're going to continue the conversation in just a few minutes. Stay with us here on BBC News.